Hey, it's me, Hrishikesh Kannan, popularly known as Hrishi K. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon now to get the latest videos and get taken into a world of entertainment, culture, sport, business, and current affairs.
These two together.
By that he means Akshay and
Akshay
Tanuj together.
And Tanuj together.
The gangsters.
Off camera, are a hoot. And it's incredible. It's like
He turns me into a 14-year-old boy. That's what he does to me.
They just
That's what he does to me.
non-stop laughs. And it's great. But on camera, I'd met him once at a reading for Masaba season 1. That's the only time I'd met Tanuj before I met him.
But you actually met him here on the
like
show.
You got to know him here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, they're a laugh riot, and you can't have a dull moment with these two around. So whenever you need a laugh,
And the director's getting irritated because
like,
these
call
two are
these
just
two
refusing
together.
to shut up.
I'm
and
very
everyone's
professional,
waiting.
okay?
He's very professional, but whenever there's a scene, I think everybody on set is like, today we really won't be able to shoot the whole thing because these two are together in a scene.
Yeah, it's
I met his mom, Rati ma'am, and I said, "You have a very well brought up son." Suddenly I'm thinking, of course, like all parents, she was really touched. She said, "Wow, amazing! It's just
They have such a sweet relationship, but let me tell you, he's anything but.
Sattu, Akshay, Neha, great to see you guys. Most importantly, the wounded soldier.
Yeah.
Well,
All good.
yeah.
Round 2. Yeah.
COVID
Round
part
2 rounds of COVID. Satyadeep
Surviving.
is still standing, surviving, filming. Voila. Guys, it was always a fascination to be part of the law. I remember I took the National School of Law Bangalore entrance exam. I cleared it, and then they flunked me in the damn interview.
Wow.
You could argue that journalism is gay in its laws and things like that, but I was devastated at the time. You pass out a 12 standard and things like that. And I realized part of the reason why I felt it was so fascinating, the law, was because of people like you guys, which is the movies have always sometimes over-glamorized it with the Your Honor, My Lord, and things like that. Or in your case, just play standard lawyers. So I want to start with one round of what lawyers have meant to you. I don't know if you've ever been in litigation or things like that, but lawyers you've met and what the law has meant to you. Have you looked
By
upon
the
it
way,
with
we're sitting with
romantic-
one right now.
Yeah, that's true actually.
We're sitting with one right now.
So the guy that we turn to and be like, iska matlab kya hai? Would always be
I
him.
was a lawyer for 11 years before I started acting.
Yeah.
corporate law, criminal law?
Corporate law.
And you did litigation?
I was more of a. I mean, you went to court when you screwed up on the agreement. No, you tried to make sure they didn't get to that stage. But yeah, I
So
saw
if you
some
didn't
time
go
in
to
court.
court, you were a good lawyer. If you had to go
Yeah,
to court,
yeah.
it's a problem.
So
Yeah.
he was our resident, like, we don't know what this legal jargon means. Can you please explain it to us, Sattu?
And simplify it.
And
a
simplify
bit.
it and tell us what are we saying?
Yeah, because it's so...
Yeah, but I used to simplify it. I don't think I think they wanted, especially with the jargon, to kind of spoon feed the audience a bit.
Yeah.
So I'd say, nobody says special leave petition if you're two lawyers talking. Just make it SLP, and then I think the channel used to say, no, we need to
Explain it.
explain it to
Yeah.
the
Fair
audience.
enough.
So yeah.
So I think it came easy to him because he was just like with the words,
Putter,
okay.
putter.
And we were like, oh my god, this is just too
You
much.
get like
Article
pages
this,
of
that,
stuff
whatever.
and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, section 2B and yeah.
So he is sorted, the two of you. What is the law meant to you? I mean, I know you guys have played all kinds of characters. Akshay has been snorting substances on screen.
On screen.
On screen.
On screen.
Lest some clickbait is made out of that. On screen.
Only on screen.
She is tired of being told, playing hot girl and things like that. So how do you view lawyers is my first question.
I mean, like you said, I mean, there's a reference of lawyers and law through cinema, which obviously is a big influence in our lives. I didn't see many lawyers up until recently on TV and, because lawyers have a lot to do right now on, even on television channels. But other than that, it was just cinema for me. And it always felt like they were doing a good job because they had to stand up for what's right. And they were the people you go to, apart from doctors, for real help in life. So yeah, I mean, I had that looking up to them through cinema, of course.
Akshay.
Oddly enough, a lot of people don't know this about me, but when I graduated from Johns Hopkins in America, I moved to Wall Street and worked at Goldman Sachs for like 6 months of my life. Where I was a trader.
Before it went bust.
Before it actually, it was around that time,
2008.
2007. 2007 is when I graduated and joined. And I quit before the collapse. Not that I knew the collapse was coming. I was just like the worst analyst at Goldman Sachs ever hired. And I knew it and they knew it. And it was just like, let's not continue this. And then I quit and I did some theater in New York and then I moved back to Bombay. So during that period, I got to meet a lot of high profile lawyers, who were representing large funds and things like that. And they were so polished and they spoke so well, they walked so well. And, I have a tendency to sit very, I sit and my posture's terrible. So at least those things were in my head. So when I got this part, I leaned a lot on that experience, especially the way they speak and the way they feel. There's a certain walk that power lawyers have. So I got to see that a bit, and I definitely stole from that a little bit.
And what I liked about Illegal Part 1 is the fact that, there is this worldwide perception that lawyers are sharks. So you see that side of it with JJ and gang. And then we have your character Sattu and your character Neha, who are very upright and, who stand for the truth and things like that. And as is always the case, there's always opposition as far as that is concerned. So playing that morally upright lawyer must have appealed to you. Talk about that.
I was a lawyer at a time, before lawyers were on national television or news every day.
Yeah.
I stopped being a lawyer by 2008. So my sort of vision of these big names in the Supreme Court and the High Court, the Salves and the Sorabjis and the Narimans, who the big guys at that time. So I used to brief them sometimes on matters, etc. So for me, it was, those are not the guys you see on TV. Those are not the mouthpieces for political parties who are just there to rile somebody up or whatever. These guys are intellectuals with brains, amazing minds, and just to see how articulate they were, and just putting somebody like a Rajiv Dhawan, these are just names that I remember. So they were like great professors, to see them in action. It was like somebody who knows everything about it and is like delivering a lecture. So for me to, I know I've sort of digressed. To answer your question, it's not really tough. I feel that I'm quite sort of morally upright. Just generally, and I kind of easy to sort of get into that space. But as influencers, I feel that for me, having seen them so closely, I always feel that in the writing, they never do justice to those characters. Because it's still, even the writers have a point of view which is which comes from what they've seen.
True.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel that I've seen a less dramatic version of it and a more real version of it, and I think that's what influences me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So let's now move from the professional to the personal. I like the fact that then Neha and Akshay, your characters have been in a relationship. I mean, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
And often, all of us are confronted with situations where we meet an ex at work or in the ambit of work and things like that. And that particular interplay, I mean, you both are such fine actors. And especially for your character, Neha, because, you're in the so-called JJ camp and then you come away, he's still there. The interplay of the characters, your relationship with Akshay's character, I'd like you to comment on that, please.
I think it's very beautifully written, and I think Reshu, who wrote the first one, brought it very beautifully, because it was a conflict for her, because this is a new firm that she's joining. Of course, she has to give it all, and then she sees him, and now he's married to another woman, and of course there's history there, and I mean, there is that palpable tension between these two, and of course there is her wanting to give her best to the firm. So there's that conflict, which is very beautifully shown in season 1, and of course in season 2 there's a lot of other things that happen, and a little bit of conflict also. So yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I feel like their whole character graph is lovely through season 1 and now season 2.
Damn, what is it with Akshay Oberoi being paired with two beautiful women? What are the chances? Parul Gulati on one
Parul
side.
Gulati and Neha Sharma, wow. Only in the
Sattu's already
movies,
got a
man.
wistful look about him.
Only in the movies. Only in the movies can one be so lucky.
Puneet has a love track too. in season
He
2.
does.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
does. He
yeah.
does.
Oh,
He
wow.
does.
He does.
You gotta
Well
watch
done.
it to find out
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's a spoiler, but yeah, it's there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, if you were an A-list star in the 90s, I would have asked you, did you insist on writing that in? But
मेरा contract में लिखा है season 2 के लिए. But I just wanted to
Yeah,
add that
please.
some of my favorite scenes to do are the track between mine and Neha. I think it's also our personal chemistry in life. I mean, we're very comfortable with each other, so we're able to discuss those scenes really well, because those kind of scenes come with their own baggage. If you're not comfortable with the co-star, that magic does not happen. There's a lot of trust between the two of us, so whenever we perform those scenes, we can really rely on each other to be there for each other, and I think that's why those scenes work also.
Yeah. Also a result of
Yeah.
the fact that we had such a good time shooting season 1.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
we were
There's
such
a lot of
a
chemistry there. with all
tight-knit
of us.
gang in season 1.
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
writers change. Is Advaita
Yeah.
Kala comes in
yeah.
this season?
This season,
She's
yes,
written-
that's
Okay,
right.
I've read a couple of her books. She's again an interesting mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about Piyush Mishra, man. He's just Sattu. He's one of the OGs. I mean, he's just spectacular, and he made natural cool on the fringes even before Irfan made it
Yeah.
international.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So just working with him, I don't know how many scenes you have with him in this season, but I'm just saying.
This season, nothing. Season 1, I mean, I had a fair bit with him, which was great. And it's always, in an earlier interview, I was just saying the same thing, that it's always a great experience to be in the same frame as one of these greats, because they do it so effortlessly and they make you feel so comfortable while they're doing the scene. But it's just, I think it's the ease that you take away from it. The fact that the craft never shows. It's,
Are you watchful of that, Akshay, when you're performing with somebody who's done the Jatra, the street theatre, all the stuff that Piyush Mishra has done? He's a writer, lyric writer, and this and that. Are you more aware when stuff like that happens, or are you saying, whoever is in front of me, I'm just going to do what I have to do?
I think you have to do the latter. I think if you're caught up in the aura of the person and what they've achieved, you'll never be able to act. And acting for me is all about relaxation. The more relaxed you are, the better you perform.
Even if you're doing a hyper part.
Even if you're doing a real large part. I mean, there's a show I did called Flesh, which is, really intense, flesh trade owner and stuff. I knew that the more relaxed I am, the better that'll come out.
Sorry to digress, but I told Danish Aslam he would have gone nuts after that show.
Yeah, and he's been nuts, so now he's extra nuts. I hope you're watching, Danny.
Yeah, it's just
it was a crazy one.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I kept telling myself before every shot, breathe, just breathe, just breathe. So same thing with Piyush ji, you got to do that, otherwise you won't be able to give it back. It's like playing tennis. If you're not there and actually focused on that moment, it's never going to work.
So, without spoilers, is there? Would you say the change of a writer has good, bad is a very subjective thing, but is the pace of Illegal 2 picked up? What are the changes in the screenplay that you noticed immediately, Neha?
There are definitely new cases that we are dealing with this season, and we've already established what Illegal is all about. So I think there was only that much the new writer could bring in, because the story needed to be taken from where we left it in season 1 to where it is going in season 2. So I don't see her changing it completely. So we obviously take the story further. Cases, of course, I feel like are very relevant to what's happening right now, because I think that's what we as an audience want to see. We want to see things that we are actually seeing in the society right now, whether it's trolls on internet or whether you see a lot of other things. I don't want to specifically mention the cases, but interesting cases, and I feel they come from our life right now, the world we're living in right now. So I think that's what she's brought into picture this season. Of course, the characters and their stories we continue from season 1, so there couldn't be so much dramatic change that could be brought
Did they
in.
write a new love interest for you?
I think they may or may not have. I think they may or may not have. He's not sitting with us here right now.
But
he's in
isn't
this room
it
somewhere.
in the promo? I think
It's
there
in
is
the promo,
something
I
in the
think.
There is something in the
promo.
I think they
Promo,
haven't
yeah.
said it specifically, but if you are a keen observer, you can.
Yeah,
probably
you'll
figure
notice
out.
there's something.
But he's here somewhere amongst us, the bastard. I'll get him.
Well, listen to me. No change in director, but Ashwini still.
It is a change in director. He wasn't the first season director. This is different.
Actually, Sahir Raza
Sahir Raza
and
and
I don't think
Vikram
I liked
Bhatt.
the first season.
Vikram
Sahir
Bhatt and
Raza and
Sahir Raza.
Vikram Bhatt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they were sharing duties, like a few episodes.
Yeah, later on Vikram came on board and initial Sahir did it.
And is the legendary Samar Khan your producer still?
The legendary Samar Khan is still very much.
There is
our
only one
producer.
Samar
There is
Khan.
only one Samar Khan. He
is
wishes
only
there were
one.
more of him. So
This could become a whole different interview.
Yeah.
If we go there.
Oh,
Samar Khan, yeah. We can just talk about Samar Khan all evening. Yeah.
But filming, I asked this filming question particularly during COVID times. I mean, was it all indoors, courtroom for two, obviously? What kind of protocols? I mean, we're at the fag end of the pandemic in any case, but I'm just saying.
This was quite early on. And in fact, I think this was one of the first things sanctioned right before, while lockdown or something like that. So we started shooting this as soon as the government sort of opened up. And I remember the first couple of days, the protocols were very much in place. Everyone was wearing masks. But, as actors, you realize, and the director, it's very tough. You need to see each other's faces in order to make the work happen. So I remember those days being, Neha and I had a scene, I think when the show started.
The first day was court and it was everybody, it was tight.
Packed in a room.
Too many people and
I remember we were talking about it. It's on your mind, it's like.
But Akshay, you actually wore the mask a lot.
I did.
And,
In those days,
I was looking at him and I was like, oh God, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Because I used to forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I very quickly stopped doing it. I mean, you get so used to something and then, you go back to it very normally also. So I was wearing the mask religiously.
And you get tired of this line that...
The line that
then
comes.
the makeup guy has
and the
to come
makeup
and
guy
do-
is telling you
Yeah.
that, sir, aapka ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha
So,
hai.
yeah.
So I take it off now.
Yeah, for you guys, it's not vanity. It's a necessity.
It's not
To get
vanity. It's
that
just,
out. For the rest
or
of us,
you
we
have
could
that
still
little
say
thing on your
vanity.
nose through the
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, since Tanuj is not represented thus far in this interview, without giving spoilers away, Satu, it's always wonderful in series when you have new characters, new elements, new actors. Did he surprise you?
Did he surprise you?
These two together.
Yeah.
By that he means Akshay and
Akshay
Tanuj together.
And Tanuj together.
The gangsters.
Off camera, are a hoot. And it's incredible. It's like...
He turns me into a 14-year-old boy. That's what he does to me.
That's
what he does to me.
Non-stop laughs. And it's great. But on camera, I'd met him once at a reading for Masaba season 1. That's the only time I'd met Tanuj before I met him.
But you actually met him here on this show.
You got to know him here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, they're a laugh riot. And you can't have a dull moment with these two around. So whenever you need a laugh,
I know
on
the director's
set,
getting irritated because
like,
these two
call
are
these
just
two
refusing
together.
to shut up.
I'm
And
very
everyone's waiting.
professional, okay?
He's very professional, but whenever there's a scene, I think everybody on set is like, today we really won't be able to shoot the whole thing because these two are together in a scene.
Yeah, it's quite
I met his
difficult.
mom, Rati ma'am, and I said, you have a very well brought up son. Suddenly I'm thinking, of course, like all parents, she was really touched. She said, wow, amazing.
They have such a sweet relationship, but let me tell you, he's anything but.
But in that aspect, Illegal 2, I think, was pretty genre defining with season 1. I don't know if you got reactions from people. You can never ask somebody who's doing a brand new show that. Neha, reactions that you got for season 1.
A lot. Because every time I was traveling and I was in a hotel, the hotel staff would come and be like, when is season 2 coming out?
Yeah.
And when you hear that, you're like, okay, people have actually seen the show and have loved it because they're not telling you what the show was. They're like, when is it out? When is the second season out? I'm like, I think it will be because I think it's going to get sanctioned and it's going to be made. So that's when I know that people have actually liked the first one. Yeah.
I totally agree with her. It's it's the weirdest thing. I was shooting something recently, a couple of weeks back in like Chandni Chowk, in like really an area where I would say illegal to koi nahi dekhega yahan par. And I was just, I was going from my car into a little market where we were shooting, and these 3 boys came on a bike and they stopped me and they said, Sir, illegal season 1, sir, kya maza aaya, illegal 2 bhi aa raha hai, sir, kya maza aayega, kya bhasha hai, kya bola hai aapne, kaisa legal bola aapne. And the way they were saying it with that excitement, I was like, this is really fascinating. So I think the show really worked and connected with people.
A lot of people, yes.
When I saw Deepak Tijori, I had a flashback. With retro actors, especially us 90s generation people, because you're at the cusp of it, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've seen them and we've seen you guys. So for us, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
these flashback
Yeah.
thingies. He was part of season 1, but I don't know how much they're going to show of him in season 2. But Sattu, did you have any scenes with him?
Sattu
Anything?
gets
I
the
don't
best questions. I know. Please tell us what happens to Deepak Tijori.
I have no idea.
know. No
We
idea.
can't.
He plays your dad in the show, right?
Yeah. Her
Step
dad, stepdad.
Yeah, stepdad, yes.
Whatever we call it.
I don't know what happened to him in season 2 though.
Okay, guys, we're heading into last question time. What are plans for New Year's? I don't know if I'll see you guys in December unless you have another show and things like that. Do you guys take Christmas breaks or is it all work or are you going off?
I'm
New
taking a
Year's?
break. I don't know. Akshay is always working, making
You and
money.
your sister in some
Yeah.
exotic
Making
location.
money. Neha's not making money. I'm just working.
Yeah, me and my sister, we're going to meet my family in Chicago. So yeah,
They're the
taking
cutest
some
family
time off.
ever, yeah. They're
Dude,
so
exotic
tight-knit.
vacations, the Sharma sisters. And
I
the
want to
sisters.
do an exotic vacation, but that's not happening. This is family vacation.
Yeah.
Chicago's good.
Yeah.
I'm actually also
Cold.
going to the States for Christmas, New Year.
But you
Nice.
go there like
I go there
it's
like
like
it's my
town.
backyard, yeah.
Yeah. Sattu,
Shooting, hope I get a week off.
did you do the Christmas tree routine and things like that? I mean, it's just so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
fun
of
if you're
I
home
mean,
and
yeah,
you set it up
yeah,
and things like that, man.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But as in, you're not taking a single day off. You're shooting through December.
No,
to
I
January.
start a film which starts shooting now, and I don't know.
But damn, we're talking to a guy who lives in Goa, so you know.
I know,
Yeah.
guys. I've come back
now
here.
apparently shifted back.
I'm back here. I now live like 100 meters away from where we are. But
Oh, you moved to Juhu?
yeah,
Yeah.
Anybody else
Prithvi
in
Theatre.
season 2 who you think we should watch out for
In this season
in
too?
this season? In 2.
There's
About
Sonali
the-
Sehgal also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's also got an interesting part. I think I think these two are the new members, right? Tanuj and Sonali.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Lovely.
the kid who
Chief
plays
Minister.
no
Achint Kaur.
Achint.
Achint
Yeah.
Kaur is also
Wow.
there,
And
yeah.
the kid as well.
Another
He's
TV
fab.
OG.
Yeah, another
Wonderful.
TV OG.
So, guys, Illegal 2, whoever's watching, listening, go binge on these wonderful actors. Thank you very much, Neha.
Thank
you
you
for
for having
pleasure
me.
always.
Pleasure.
Hrishi.
Thank you.